Well, according to the Daily Mail, the reports are that Russian forces may only be able to keep up their fight for another 2 weeks. This as increasingly desperate invaders launch more devastating strikes on Kyiv this morning. And folks, they're hitting civilian targets and they're hitting residential buildings. Now, President Zelensky will address U.S. Congress tomorrow, something you can watch live here on Newsmax. So now, with a look ahead at that and more of the D.C. angle, we're joined by political analyst Mark Halperin. Mark, good to have you here today.
Good to see you, Bianca.
All right, so, in the past few weeks, we've seen a lot from Congress, a lot of outspoken words about the no-fly zone, the MiGs, Lindsey Graham saying somebody needs to take Putin out. I mean, it really seemed like they were driving the foreign policy decision, not our president. Is there a shift happening? We hear Biden maybe heading to Europe. What do you take on all this?
It's as old as the Republic, the question of who controls our foreign policy, our national security. Over the last, I'd say, couple generations, power's really moved to the White House. And we've seen in the last 6 days, unprecedented in modern times, Congress really driving this. 535 members of Congress being very vocal in bipartisan calls for different actions. We saw on the military front, on the question of economic sanctions. President Biden, I think, going into the weekend, worked to gain back some of that control. And we've seen some Democrats now say maybe we do need to see the president driving this, that it's too complicated to have 535 secretaries of state and 535 Pentagon chiefs. But we'll see what happens after tomorrow. I think President Zelensky, Bianca, is going to make it clear he's grateful for what America's done, but he's going to ask for more. And I expect we'll see that the turn a little bit back to the Congress again after tomorrow, where they're going to urge the president to act and say that if he doesn't, they'll act without him.
Wow, and they would have to obviously have a vote and not just ask the president. We've seen, Mark, NATO amassing these warships and troops on the border with Russia. And it's been clear, the U.S. has said the red line is if you attack a NATO country, we will defend it. There's this new poll out, though, and we want to put the numbers up. And it's asking, is there confidence? Do Americans have confidence that Biden can prevent Putin's war from spreading into other nations? And it is not looking good. 45.2% say no. They don't have confidence. And I think many people are saying, what's the end game here and how do we keep our troops off the ground in Europe, Mark?
Look, it's so complicated. Obviously, that red line about defending any NATO country is important. But what if a missile flies into Poland? Is that enough to trigger Article 5 and a full NATO response? We just don't know. But we do know this. Vladimir Putin is now less popular in the United States than Osama bin Laden was. And so there is an opportunity for the world in the U.S. and around the world to rally against him. But there are so many complicated questions, particularly as some call for an escalation of NATO's role, whether it's a no-fly zone or moving, as you suggested, more ships and more forces into the region. It is a tinderbox. And as I said, if Putin either inadvertently or on purpose wants to provoke NATO, he can do it. And that would put President Biden and all of NATO's leaders in a real tough position to say, are they going to fight back the way all NATO members have pledged to do?
What would you be advising to President Biden right now at this juncture, seeing where we are?
Well, I don't give advice to presidents, but I can tell you from talking to a lot of people in the national security community and Congress, people would like there to be less predictability, less saying, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, no forces on the ground, no-fly zone. People would like to see the U.S.-led coalition be more unpredictable, be more aggressive. Don't let Putin decide the tempo, the pace, the direction of this, not just the conflict on the ground, but the international debate. Take more control of that. I think that's what I hear more than anything else from national security and political leaders.
Mark Halperin, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you, Bianca.